I found a really rare One Piece collectible. At least that's what the guy who sold it told me. And I'm not sure if I got really lucky or absolutely scammed. I was out of town and I heard there was an anime convention nearby. If you don't know, at anime conventions, there's usually a whole spot where there's vendors vending things. They've got handmade goods, collectible stuff, and stuff from all over the world. Turns out I knew some of the staff that was working there, so they handed me a staff pass. Now, having a staff pass is way more useful than you'd think it'd be. First, I can go anywhere I want to. And second, I can shop before anybody else comes in. So without all those minions walking around like, doors are open! And they swarm in and then you're walking like this. I didn't have to. I was just talking with all of the other convention workers. And I found 2 One Piece items. One being this collectible, and the other being this thing. So this is all burnt. I wouldn't assume it's by hand. They burned it in some way and splack some paint for the details. But it's really the Gengar that stopped me. Boom. Oh yeah. It hit all the boxes. Wood, Pokemon, burned. Pretty. It doesn't really fit here. Oh, but maybe on this wall. Oh, this is so nice. Canadian wood. I know this. He told me. I pretend it's a wood plank. You know, like you're walking the plank, it's wood, this pirate. Okay. I showed him the channel and he gave us a little gift. A little coaster. Sanji. I felt pretty special this day because a lot of people ended up giving me gifts. He initially offered one of these keychain Naruto wooden things. I just never watched Naruto, so there's that. Merci. Now on my way to the rare item, I couldn't stop stopping to look at all these creations and art and things I wouldn't think of but would definitely buy. I'm getting a custom order for this one. I walked past this artist and literally all I said was, your stuff is really cute. And then she's like, come here. All I see is her take a little leaf and she puts it on my head. A little seedling. She said she couldn't sell it because there was some sort of defect. Of course, after that, I had to buy something. I bought this little ducky thing for Hunbun. Speaking about kind people, I saw this artist that I bought stuff from a previous convention. I got some mini artworks from him. At the time, he didn't have Blastoise, and I wanted all the starters. I see that Blastoise is up on the wall, and now I kind of want the bigger ones. I'd mentioned to him, look, I spent too much money already here. I'll just grab a small Blastoise to finish my set. But he was all out. Then he said he would print it for me. 5 seconds later, he gives me something. He's like, look, you're paying for one. I'm giving you all 3 of the big ones. I couldn't believe it. Look how cool these look. I am so happy. He said that sometimes they don't print all the same, so they might be slightly different colors or slightly different sizes. So he wanted me to have all of the same size. That sounds like a great excuse to be nice. But I get it. There's a special feeling when you create a product with passion and give it to someone who truly appreciates it. It's not about the financial aspect, it's about sharing your passion, your art. We've given away band merch for this exact reason. It's cheesy, but the smiles are priceless. For the most part, I feel like I've made a connection with so many people there. We've shared smiles. They've touched me. Probably because I touched them. Anime body pillows. I had a really interesting conversation with these guys. Learning about the specifics and details within the anime pillow industry. They said most sales for those mouse pads are for male characters. Plant pots. Who thinks of this stuff? This guy thinks of this stuff. I really like the Cubone one. It's as if it came from a deserted land and nature started coming out of it. The coughing one makes a little less sense, but it's poetic. And of course, Executor. There were 2 kinds. I didn't know which one to choose, but I felt this one was more realistic. I want to talk about one more thing before we get to the supposedly rare One Piece item. And it's these shirts, specifically the artwork. This person did not create the arts for this. I know this because I saw this Bulma art before, made from an artist in Brazil who only sells in Brazil. Now, thanks to our friend Isa, who lives in Brazil, we got our hands on some exclusive items. I know the seller could have gotten the license, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this. I kind of see it like emulation. I have the original, so I'm allowed to get the bootleg ROM that has the image in the front instead of the back. That is not the same excuse I have for these ones. I just saw them and I thought they were cool. Now, for the thing you came here for. This comes from a shop that sells mostly cards from Japan. And they had a lot of One Piece stuff, Naruto stuff. But this was set onto the side, and I had to ask, is it for sale? They said yes, and that this beautiful piece is a large metal card you can only get after buying multiple cases of One Piece cards. Not boxes, cases. Each box, let's say, is around $100 to $200. There's 12 boxes in a case and multiple cases. This thing costs a lot for them to get. He said he had it at his own place for a while. Said it was time to sell it. Obviously, my next question was, okay, I probably can't afford it, but how much is this? He said he'd let it go for $70. Instantly, I said, I'll buy it. Do you have any of the other characters? He said, no, he does not. And then I said, am I gonna find it on eBay for 30 bucks? He also said no, and we chuckled. Cute. And it's metal, listen to this. Hear that, huh? But this goes back to why I don't know if I'm holding a rare item or just somebody sold me something they saw for cheap somewhere. Because when I Google image reverse searched this thing, I only saw one place that had something very similar. It was AliExpress. Now, I'm not saying he sold me something from AliExpress because... How does this work? Because it looks different on AliExpress. First of all, the colors are way off. Second, where that wanted thing is right there, that's see-through on the alleys. Now, I really don't think that he ripped me off, but this has a good story to it. He also shared all his info with me and let me film all this stuff, and I'll know where to find him, you know? But I want to know, have you ever seen something like this before? And maybe you're better at Googling than I am. Technically, I only spent 5 minutes doing it, but I thought the mystery was just better. Let me finish putting it together. I'm not an architect, okay? So bear with me. Jesus. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. That's not what I mean. I mean more like not knowing sometimes feels better than knowing, you know? I know, I'm inspirational. Oh, baby! If you were walking by and you saw something like this, you would go, whoa! Anyways, if you want to see what an anime convention is like, you can watch this one somewhere. Oh, actually, just a big shout out to our sparkly crew. You can join below if that's something that you're into. I mean, you don't have to. Like, watching this video until this point is actually the best kind of support ever. But you know, bye! I should have worn deodorant.